Good evening, folks. 1010 out in here getting ready to do something a little different than usual. This probably would have been better around Halloween considering it's a horror game, but still worth playing. I'm very curious about this. So I think this game's a little infamous for some of the content in it. It is a horror game. Does not look at all like it when you're looking at it here. When you look at how the game starts, but it comes with a content warning. It basically says that it is most certainly not intended for children, should not be played by people who are easily disturbed, should not be played by anyone with depression or anxiety, as it could be unhealthy for them playing it. My own content warning, I don't know for a fact, because I try to go into these with as little information as possible. I try to do enough research to know that I want to stream it, but I try to limit it so I know hardly anything going in. But I do believe it deals with themes of suicide, self-harm, and some other things. So if those are sensitive issues for you, then probably not a good idea to watch. What else? Other kinds of content. So I did some research to see how much, in other ways, graphic or suggestive content there was, and supposedly there isn't a lot. So here's hoping. If it gets too bad in that respect, that's not the sort of thing I want to show on the stream. So if that ends up being the case, we're just going to back on out and we'll find something else to do. There's a lot of different games out there. I hope you're having a good evening. I'm going to take myself off the screen because I don't want to block anything that's on there. So let's do that now, and we'll go ahead and get going. Let's start a new game. Now, here's the thing. Ordinarily, I would read all the text. The text in this is probably going to be a little cringy for me to read. So maybe we'll give a chance. We'll just say, hey, I see an annoying girl running toward me from the distance, waving her arms in the air like she's totally oblivious to any attention she might draw to herself. That girl is Sayori, my neighbor and good friend since we were children. You know, the kind of friend you never see yourself making today, but it just kind of works out because you've known each other for so long. We used to walk to school together on days like this, but starting around high school, she would oversleep more and more frequently, and I would get tired of waiting up. But if she's going to chase after me like this, I almost feel better off running away. However, I just sigh and idle in front of the crosswalk and let Sayori catch up to me. I overslept again, but I caught you this time. Oh, I'm still... Okay, yep. I already named myself 10 Tons, so we'll go ahead and go along with that. Maybe, but only because I decided to stop and wait for you. You say that like you're thinking about ignoring me. That's mean. Well, if people stare at you for acting weird, then I don't want them to think we're a couple or something. Fine. But you did wait for me, after all. I guess you don't have it in you to be mean, even if you want to. Whatever you say, Sayori. We cross the street together and make our way to school. As we draw near, the streets become increasingly speckled with other students. Making their daily commute. By the way, Ten, have you decided on a club to join yet? A club? I told you already, I'm really not interested in joining any clubs. Hey, it's actually me in the game. I haven't been looking either. That's not true. You told me you'd join a club this year. Did I? I'm sure it's possible that I did in one of our many conversations where I dismissively go along with whatever she's going on about. Sayori likes to worry a little too much about me when I'm perfectly content just getting by on the average, while spending my free time on games and anime. Moving things around here a little bit. And one more thing. There we go. I was talking about how I'm worried that you won't learn how to socialize or have any skills before college. It is about me. Your happiness is really important to me, you know. And I know you're happy now, but I die at the thought of you becoming a NEET in a few years because you're not used to the real world. You trust me, right? Don't make me keep worrying about you. Alright. I'll look at a few clubs if it makes you happy. No promises, though. Will you at least promise you'll try a little? Yeah, I guess I'll promise you that. Yay. Why do I let myself get lectured by such a carefree girl? More than that, I'm surprised I even let myself relent to her. I guess seeing her worry so much about me makes me want to ease her mind at least a little bit, even if she does exaggerate everything inside of her head. School day is as ordinary as ever, and it's over before I know it. After I packed up my things, I stare blankly at the wall, looking for an ounce of motivation. Clubs. Sayori wants me to check out some clubs. I guess I have no choice but to start with the anime club. Hello? Sayori? Sayori must have come into the classroom while I was spacing out. I look around and realize that I'm the only one left in the classroom. I thought I'd catch you coming out of the classroom, but I saw you just sitting here and spacing out, so I came in. Honestly, you're even worse than me sometimes. I'm impressed. You don't need to wait up for me if it's going to make you late to your own club. Well, I thought you might need some encouragement, so I thought, you know. Know what? Well, that you could come to my club. Sayori, yeah? There's no way I'm going to your club. Meanie. I'm not doing the anime. Whatever that is. Sayori is vice president of the Literature Club. Not that I was ever aware she had any interest in literature. In fact, I'm 99% sure she only did it because she thought it would be fun to help start a new club. Since she was the first one to show interest after the one who proposed the club... Since she was the first one to show interest after the one who proposed the club, she inherited the title Vice President. That said, my interest in literature is guaranteed to be even less. Yeah, I'm going to the anime club. Come on, please. Why do you care so much anyway? Well, I kind of told the club yesterday I would bring a new member. And Natsuki made cupcakes and everything. Don't make promises you can't keep. I can't tell Sayori is really that much of an airhead, or if she's so cunning as to have planned all this out. I let out a long sigh. Fine, I'll stop by for a cupcake, okay? Yes, let's go. And thus today makes the day I sold my soul for a cupcake. I dejectedly follow Sayori across the school and upstairs, a section of the school I rarely visit, being generally used for third-year classes and activities. Sayori, full of energy, swings open the classroom door. Everyone, the new member is here. I told you, don't call me a new member. I glance around the room. Girl 1. Welcome to the Literature Club. It's a pleasure meeting you. Sayori always says nice things about you. Seriously, you brought a boy? Way to kill the atmosphere. Ah, Tenton, what a nice surprise. It's so weird seeing that. Welcome to the club. All words escape me in this situation. This club is full of incredibly cute girls. What are you looking at? You want to say something, say it. Sorry. Natsuki. The girl with the sour attitude, whose name is apparently Natsuki, is one I don't recognize. Her small figure makes me think she's probably a first year. She's also the one who made cupcakes, according to Sayori. You can just ignore her when she gets moody. Sayori says that quietly into my ear, then turns back toward the other girls. Anyway, this is Natsuki, always full of energy. And this is Yuri, the smartest in the club. Don't say things like that. Yuri, who appears comparably more mature and timid, seems to have a hard time keeping up with people like Sayori and Natsuki. Well, it's nice to meet both of you. And it sounds like you already know Monica, is that right? That's right. It's great to see you again, Tenten. Monica smiles sweetly. We do know each other. Well, we rarely talk, but we were in the same class last year. Monica was probably the most popular girl in the class. Smart, beautiful, athletic. Basically completely out of my league. So having her smile at me so genuinely feels a little... You too, Monica. Come sit down, Ten-Ton. We made room for you at the table so you can sit next to me or Monica. I'll get the cupcakes. Hang on. Hey, I made them. I'll get them. Sorry, I got a little too excited. Then how about I make some tea as well? The girls have a few desks arranged to form a table. As Sayori mentioned, it's been widened so that there is one space next to Monica and one space next to Sayori. Natsuki and Yuri walk over to the corner of the room where Natsuki grabs a wrapped tray and Yuri opens the closet. Still feeling awkward, I take a seat next to Sayori. Natsuki proudly marches back to the table, tray in hand. Okay, are you ready? Ta-da! I'm not doing that noise. Natsuki lifts the foil off the tray to reveal a dozen white, fluffy cupcakes, decorated to look like little cats. The whiskers are drawn with icing, and little pieces of chocolate were used to make the ears. So cute! I had no idea you were so good at baking, Natsuki. Well, you know. Just hurry and take one. Sayori grabs the first, then Monica. I follow. It's delicious. Sayori talked with her mouth full and has already managed to get icing on her face. I turn the cupcake around in my fingers, looking for the best angle to take a bite. Natsuki is quiet. I can't help but notice her sneaking glances in my direction. Is she waiting for me to take a bite? I finally bite down. The icing is sweet and full of flavor. I wonder if she's made it herself. This is really good. Thank you, Natsuki. Why are you thanking me? It's not like I... Haven't I heard this somewhere before? Made them for you or anything? I thought you technically did. Sayori said, well, maybe, but not for, you, dummy. Alright. I give up on Natsuki's weird logic and dismiss the conversation. Yuri returns to the table carrying a tea set. She carefully places a teacup in front of each of us before setting down the teapot next to the cupcake tray. You keep a whole tea set in this classroom? Well, don't worry, the teachers gave us permission. After all, doesn't a hot cup of tea help you enjoy a good book? I guess. Don't let yourself get intimidated. Yuri's just trying to impress you. That's not... Insulted, Yuri looks away. I meant that, I believe you. Well, tea and reading might not be a pastime for me, but at least I enjoy tea. I'm glad. Yuri faintly smiles to herself in relief. Monica raises an eyebrow, then smiles at me. So what made you consider the literature club? I was afraid of this question. Something tells me I shouldn't tell Monica that I was practically dragged here by Sayori. Well, I haven't joined any clubs yet, and Sayori seemed really happy here, so... That's okay, don't be embarrassed. We'll make sure you feel right at home, okay? As president of the literature club, it's my duty to make the club fun and exciting for everyone. Monica, I'm surprised. How come you decide to start your own club? You could probably be a board member for any of the major clubs. Weren't you a leader of the debate club last year? Well, To be honest, I can't stand all the politics around the major clubs. It feels like nothing but arguing about the budget and publicity and how to prepare for events. I'd much rather take something I personally enjoy and make something special out of it. And if it encourages others to get into literature, then I'm fulfilling that dream. Monica really is a great leader. Yuri also nods in agreement. Then I'm surprised there aren't more people in the club yet. Must be hard to start a new club. You can put it that way. Not many people are very interested in putting out all the effort to start something brand new, especially when it's something that doesn't grab your attention like literature. You have to work hard to convince people that you're both fun and worthwhile. But it makes school events like the festival that much more important. I'm confident that we can all really grow this club before we graduate. Right, everyone? Yeah, we'll do our best. You know it. Everyone enthusiastically agrees. Such different girls, all interested in the same goal. Monica must have worked really hard just to find these three. Maybe that's why they were all delighted by the idea of a new member joining. Though I still don't really know if I can keep up with their level of enthusiasm about literature. So, Ten-Ten, what kinds of things do you like to read? Well, considering how little I've read these past few years, I don't really have a good way of answering that. Manga, I mutter quietly to myself, half joking. Natsuki's head suddenly perks up. It looks like she wants to say something, but she keeps quiet. Not much of a reader, I guess. Well, that can change. What am I saying? I spoke without thinking after seeing Yuri's sad smile. Anyway, what about you, Yuri? Well, let's see. Yuri traces the rim of her teacup with her finger. My favorites are usually novels that build deep and complex fantasy worlds. The level of creativity and craftsmanship behind them is amazing to me. And telling a good story in such a foreign world is equally impressive. Yuri goes on, clearly passionate about her reading. She seems so reserved and timid since the moment I walked in, but it's obvious by the way her eyes light up that she finds her comfort in the world of books, not people. But you know, I like a lot of things. Stories with deep psychological elements usually immerse me as well. Isn't it amazing how a writer can so deliberately take advantage of your own lack of imagination to completely throw you for a loop? Anyway, I've been reading a lot of horror lately. Oh, I read a horror book once. I desperately grasp something I can relate to at the minimal level. At this rate, Yuri might as well be having a conversation with a rock. Really? I wouldn't have expected that, Yuri. For someone as gentle as you. I guess you could say that. But if a story makes me think or takes me to another world, then I can't really put it down. Surreal horror is often very successful at changing the way you look at the world, if only for a brief moment. Ugh, I hate horror. Oh, why's that? Well, Natsuki's eyes darted over to me for a split second. Never mind. That's right, you usually like to write about cute things, don't you, Natsuki? What? What gives you that idea? You left a piece of scrap paper behind last club meeting. It looked like you were working on a poem called Don't Say It Out Loud. And give that back. Fine. Your cupcakes, your poems, everything you do is just as cute as you are. Sayori sidles up behind Natsuki and puts her hand on her shoulders. I'm not cute. Natsuki, you write your own poems? Huh? Well, I guess, sometimes. Why do you care? I think that's impressive. Why don't you share them sometime? No. Natsuki averts her eyes. You wouldn't like them. Ah, not a very confident writer yet. I understand how Natsuki feels. Sharing that level of writing takes more than just confidence. The truest form of writing is writing to oneself. You must be willing to open up to your readers, exposing your vulnerabilities and showing even the deepest reaches of your heart. It's very true. Do you have writing experience too, Yuri? Maybe if you share some of your work, you can set an example and help Natsuki feel comfortable enough to share hers. Awkward pause. I guess it's the same for Yuri. Oh, I wanted to read everyone's poems. We all sit in silence for a moment. Okay, I have an idea, everyone. Natsuki and Yuri look quizzically at Monica. Let's all go home and write a poem of our own. Then, next time we meet, we'll all share them with each other. That way, everyone is even. Yeah, let's do it. Plus, now that we have a new member, I think it'll help us get a little more comfortable with each other and strengthen the bond of the club. Very practical. Isn't that right, Ten-Ten? Monica smiles warmly at me once again. Hold on, there's still one problem. Huh? What's that? Now that we're back to the original topic of me joining the club, I bluntly come forth with what's been on my mind the entire time. I never said I would join this club. Sayori may have convinced me to stop by, but I never made any decision. I still have other clubs to look at, and, I lose my train of thought. All four girls stare back at me with dejected eyes. She looks very dejected. But, I'm sorry, I thought, Ten-Ten. You all... I'm defenseless against these girls. How am I supposed to make a clear-headed decision when it's like this? That is, if writing poems is the price I need to pay in order to spend every day with these beautiful girls. Jeez. Right. Okay, I've decided then. I'll join the literature club. One by one, the girls' eyes light up. Yes, I'm so happy. Sayori wraps her arms around me, jumping up and down. Hey! You really did scare me for a moment. If you really just came for the cupcakes, I would be super pissed. Then that makes it official. Welcome to the Literature Club. Thanks, I guess. Okay, everyone. I think with that, we can officially end today's meeting on a good note. Everyone remember tonight's assignment. Write a poem to bring it to the next meeting so we can all share. Monica looks over at me once more. Ten-Ten, I look forward to seeing how you express yourself. Oh boy, so do I. Yeah. Can I really impress the class star Monica with my mediocre writing skills? I already feel the anxiety welling up inside me. Meanwhile, the girls continue to chit-chat as Yuri and Natsuki clean up their food. Hey, Ten-Ten, since we're already here, do you want to walk home together? That's right. Sayori and I never walked home together anymore because she always stayed after school for clubs. Sure, might as well. Yay! With that, the two of us depart the club room and make our way home. The whole way, my mind wanders back and forth between the four girls. Sayori, Natsuki, Yuri, and, of course, Monica. Will I really be happy spending every day after school in a literature club? Perhaps I'll have the chance to grow closer to one of these girls. All right. I'll just need to make the most of my circumstances, and I'm sure good fortune will find me. And I guess that starts with writing a poem tonight. It's time to write a poem. Pick words you think your favorite club member will like. Something good might happen with whoever likes your poem the most. History, okay. Let's see. Shiny Lucky Depression. Let's see. Oh, okay. Oh, depression went away. Okay. I thought it was going to be like keep picking from the same list. So we did waterfall? What now? Tragedy. Sheila. Alright. Guessing the purple-haired one there. Agonizing embrace. So we got waterfall, tragedy. Let's see. Do embrace. Oh boy, we're really... Ribbon captive games, effulgent. We gotta go with that just because how often do you see effulgent used? Yep, there you go. Fluffy vanilla mouse play. Doki Doki Doodle Precious Sticky. Boy, loud, vibrant, disoriented horror. Whirlwind, existence, the whirlwind. Let's see. Less socks. Boy, she's messed up. Let's see. Excuse me. Milk. Just to throw a weird one in the middle. Milk flour. Portrait. The Meter Melancholy Graveyard. Dance Marshmallow Essence. The Tenacious Heart. There we go. We'll have to set like a speed around when we do those. Like, don't overthink it. Hi, Din Ten Ten. Glad to see you didn't run away on us. Ha ha ha. Nah, don't worry. This might be a little strange for me, but at least I keep my word. Well, I'm back at the Literature Club. I was the last to come in, so everyone else is already hanging out. Thanks for keeping your promise, Ten Ten. I hope this isn't too overwhelming of a commitment for you, making you dive headfirst into literature when you're not accustomed to it. Oh, come on, like he deserves any slack. Sayori told me you didn't even want to join any clubs this year. And last year, too. I don't know if you plan to just come here and hang out or what, but if you don't take this seriously, then you won't see the end of it. Natsuki, you certainly have a big mouth for someone who keeps her manga collection in the club room. Embarrassed face. Natsuki finds herself stuck between saying Monica and manga. Manga is literature. Swiftly defeated, Natsuki plops back into her seat. Don't worry, guys. Ten-Ten always gives it his best as long as he's having fun. He helps me with my busy work without even asking. Like cooking, cleaning my room. How dependable. Sayori, that's because your room is so messy, it's distracting. And you almost set your house on fire once. Is that so? You two are really good friends, aren't you? I might be a little jealous. How come you and Ten-Ten can become good friends too? Sayori? As usual, Sayori seems oblivious to the weird situation she just put me into. Oh, Yuri even brought you something today, you know? Wait, Sayori? Me? Not really. Don't be shy. It's really nothing. What is it? Never mind. Sayori made it sound like a big deal when it's really not. What do I do? I'm sorry, Yuri, I wasn't thinking. I guess that means it's up to me to rescue this situation. Hey, don't worry about it. First of all, I wasn't expecting anything in the first place. So any nice gesture from you is just a pleasant surprise. It'll make me happy no matter what. Is that so? Yeah, I won't make it a big deal if you don't want it to be. Alright. Well, here. Yuri reaches into her bag and pulls out a book. I didn't want you to feel left out, so I picked out a book I thought you might enjoy. It's a short read, so it should keep your attention, even if you don't usually read. And we could, discuss it if you wanted. How is this girl accidentally being so cute? She even picked out a book she thinks I'll like, despite me not reading much. Yuri, thank you. I'll definitely read this. I enthusiastically take the book. Phew. Well, you can read it at your own pace. I look forward to hearing what you think. Now that everyone's settled in, I expected Monica to kick off some scheduled activities for the club, but that doesn't seem to be the case. Sayori and Monica are having a cheery conversation in the corner. Yuri's face is almost buried in a book. I can't help but notice her intense expression, like she was waiting for this chance. Meanwhile, Natsuki is rummaging around in the closet. Man, Looks like no one wants to be bothered today. I slumped down into the nearest desk. How am I supposed to occupy myself with something literature-related by myself like this? I guess I could always read some of the book Yuri gave me, but I'm feeling a little too tired to read. I could probably fall asleep right now. I closed my eyes and ended up listening in on Sayori's conversation with Monica. We're probably going to seem really lame compared to all the other clubs, though. Well, we can't give up. The festival is our chance to show everyone what literature is all about. The problem is that the idea of a literature club sounds too dense and intellectual. But it's not like that at all, you know. We just need a way of showing that to everyone. Something that speaks to their creative minds. That doesn't solve the problem, though. What do you mean? Even if we come up with the most fun thing ever, nobody will come in the first place if it's a literature event. So it's more important to figure out how to get people to show up in the first place, you know? And after they come, we can do the thing to speak to their creative minds. What's this? Sayori is taking this really seriously. It's rare to hear her deliberating like this. Huh, that's a good point. In that case, do you think food will do the trick? What kind? Oh, well, I guess we could... Cupcakes! Aha, good thinking. Natsuki would love to do that. You're right. Natsuki makes the best cupcakes. That works out perfectly. That wasn't why you suggested it. Cupcakes speak to my creative tummy. Cupcakes it is, then. I'm hungry. Anyway, we still need to work out the details of the event itself. I find myself smiling. In the end, Sayori is still her usual self. But therein lies the unexpected reason I admire her. Unlike me, who has trouble finding any motivation at all, Sayori can put her mind to things and make them come to life. I suppose that's why I end up letting her get on my case about things. I can't help but wonder what it would be like to see the world through her eyes. Wah! I opened my eyes to find Sayori's face filling my vision. I nearly fall out of my chair. Sorry. Wait. Actually, I'm not sorry at all. It's your fault for sleeping like that. This isn't the napping club. Does our school have a napping club? You're staying up late again, aren't you? Now that you're in a club, you're going to have less time for anime, you know. You'll need to get used to it. Don't say that so loud. I glance over my shoulder to see if Monica overheard. It's true, though. Yeah, I know. You're always looking out for me, Sayori. I do not have the voice to do like little anime girl laugh. Lol. It's what I do best. That's a problem. What about you? You look out for me better than you look out for yourself. You're still oversleeping every day, aren't you? Not every day. That's not very convincing. How many days this past week have you gotten up on time? It's a secret. I knew it. Come on. At least give me the benefit of the doubt. I can't even do that. Look, Sayori, it's written all over you. Sayori glances around at herself. How is it written all over me? You were clearly in a rush this morning. Look, your hair is sticking out all around here. Huh? I run my fingertips down the side of Sayori's hair, trying to straighten it out. Man, you really need a brush for this. My hair is just really hard to get right. I won't fall for that. There's more than just your hair. Look, your bow isn't straight either. And there's a toothpaste stain on your collar right here. I try to wipe off the stain with my finger. But nobody would ever notice that. Of course they would. Nobody's going to tell you about it because they don't want to embarrass you. Fortunately, I really don't care about that. Meanie. You don't even keep your blazer buttoned up. Seriously, Sayori. Why do you think you don't have a boyfriend yet? That's super mean. Sorry, but you'll thank me later. I start to button her blazer from the bottom. Once you see how much better it looks, you'll change your mind. Oh my goodness. This is so funny. What is? Well, I was just thinking how weird it is to have a friend who does these kinds of things. Eh? Don't say that. You'll make me feel weird about it, stupid. It's okay, though. I'm happy we're like this. Aren't you? Aren't you? I guess. Hey, be careful. The button might come off. Why is this one so hard to close? I struggled to close the button near her chest. Oh, golly. Does this thing even fit you properly? It did when I bought it. Sigh. If you ever buttoned it, you would have noticed sooner that it doesn't fit you anymore. What are you smiling about? Yeah. Don't say that out loud. That's okay, I didn't. Anyway, you look much better now, so... Why does it feel strange to see Sayori's blazer buttoned up like that? But it's so stuffy. It's not worth it at all. Sayori hastily unbuttons her blazer once more. Phew. That's so much better. Sayori puts her arms out and twirls around. So if I keep it unbuttoned, then I won't get a boyfriend, right? What kind of logic is that? And why are you saying it like it's a good thing? Hi, Maddie. How are you doing? Hope you're having a good night. Have you seen this game before? Why are you saying that like it's a good thing? Because if I had a boyfriend, then he wouldn't even let you do things like this. And you could take care of me better than anyone else would anyway. So that's why I'm keeping it unbuttoned. Stop saying all these embarrassing things. Eh? I didn't say anything embarrassing. Jeez. Well, anyway, just focus on trying to wake up a little earlier. Only if you focus on going to bed earlier. Fine. It's a deal. I guess we really are better at taking care of each other than we are at taking care of ourselves. Hey, how's it going? Evil Ink Sands, how are you doing tonight? Yeah, I guess so, huh? So maybe you should come wake me up in the morning? You're doing it again, Sayori. Aw, but I was joking that time. Man, it's impossible to tell with you sometimes. Okay, everyone. Eh? Monica suddenly calls out. Why don't we share the poems we wrote now? Yay. Tenton, I can't wait to read yours. Yeah, same. I fail to sound enthusiastic, but Sayori still trots away to retrieve her poem. By the way, did you remember to write a poem last night? Yeah. My relaxation ends. I can't believe I agreed to do something so embarrassing. Couldn't really find much inspiration since I've never really done this before. Well, now that everyone's ready, why don't you find someone to share with? I can't wait. Sayori and Monica enthusiastically pull out their poems. Sayori's is on a wrinkled sheet of loose leaf torn from a spiral notebook. On the other hand, Monica wrote hers in a composition notebook. I can already see Monica's pristine handwriting from where I sit. Natsuki and Yuri reluctantly comply as well, reaching into their bags. I do the same myself. Who should I show my poem to first? We'll start with the friend, just because, it's going to be the least painful. I'm definitely most comfortable sharing it with Sayori first. See? She's my good friend, after all. Oh my goodness. This is so good, Tenten. Eh? I love it. I had no idea you were such a good writer. Sayori, you must be seriously overreacting. I'm not a good writer at all. I honestly have no idea what I'm doing. Well, maybe that's why. Because I have no idea what I like either. Jeez. I'm sure Yuri's opinion has to be a little more constructive than this. Maybe even Natsuki's. Are you sure you don't like it just because I wrote it? Eh? Well, I'm sure that's part of it. I think I understand you better than a lot of other people, you know? So when I read your poem, it's not just a poem. It's a 10-ton poem, and that makes it feel extra special. Like I can feel your feelings in it. Sayori hugs the sheet against her chest. You're so weird, Sayori. I'm really happy just that you wrote one. It just reminds me of how you're really a part of the club now. Not to mention the fact that I'm standing in front of you in the club room. Oh, well, of course. I'm not really into it yet, but that doesn't mean I'll break my promise. Oh, no kidding. Yeah, this is my first playthrough too. I have very little preconception of it, other than I know it's a horror game. I know it's pretty dark, but I've no spoilers, never seen anything. So I'm curious to see where it goes. And yeah, this is also no surprise, maybe. I don't know. This is the first visual novel game I've played too. I know that that's a thing, but I've never actually seen any. So this is kind of this is many kinds of introductions here. So I'm not really into it yet, but that doesn't mean I'll break my promise. There we go. See? It's like I said before, 10-ton. I'm going to say I kind of regret putting my own name in there. So, didn't think about it much. I didn't anticipate the weirdness. Deep down, you're not selfish at all, you know? No regrets. We're going to do this. Trying new things like this for other people. That's something that only really good people do. Thanks, Sayori. I'm not sure if Sayori sees the full picture of my motive here. Then again, I can't deny that she's part of the reason I joined. Knowing how much this means to her and all. Yeah, and I'm going to make sure you have lots of fun here, okay? That'll be my way of thanking you. Alright, I'm going to hold you to that then. Yay! Now, you'll read my poem too, right? Don't worry, I'm really bad at this. We'll see about that. Dear Sunshine, the way you glow through the blinds in the morning, it makes me feel like you missed me, kissing my forehead to help me out of bed, making me rub the sleepy from my eyes. Are you asking me to come out and play? Are you trusting me to wish away a rainy day? I look above, the sky is blue. It's a secret, but I trust you too. If it wasn't for you, I could sleep forever, but I'm not mad. I want breakfast. Sayori, this is just a guess, but did you wait until this morning to write this? No, just a little bit. You can't answer just a little bit to a yes or no question. I forgot to do it last night. Well, at least that makes me feel a little better about myself. Don't be mean. I still tried my best. Yeah. I didn't mean to say that it was a bad poem. It came out nice, or how should I put it? It sounds just like you. Really? Yeah. Especially that last line. I made eggs and toast. Even though you were late to school? It's bad to skip breakfast. It did all cranky. Well, I guess there's no point in arguing. Anyway, thanks for showing me. This was so much fun. Monika's the best. Yeah. But next time I won't forget. And I'm going to write the best poem ever. Well, I guess I'll look forward to it. Who should I show my poem to next? I think Yuri was the other one who seemed the most interested in it. Hey, Jamie. How are you doing? I'm doing okay. We're still very much in the romance visual novel phase of the game. We just started out, so I am reading a poem that my virtual anime self apparently wrote. We don't get to see it. We just picked a bunch of words and magic happens. So Yuri stares at the poem. A minute passes, more than enough time for her to finish reading. Sorry. I forgot to start speaking. It's fine. Don't force yourself. I just need to put my thoughts into words. I think you're thinking, bleh. Hold on. Okay. This is your first time writing a poem, right? Yeah? Why do you ask? Oh, I'm just making sure. I guess that it might be after reading through it. Oh, so it's that bad. No. Did I just raise my voice? I'm so sorry. Yuri buries her face in her hands. I couldn't help but notice that it's been several minutes and we haven't really gotten anywhere. It might take Yuri a while to get used to new people. It's fine. I really didn't notice. What were you saying? Right. It's just that there are specific writing habits that are usually typical of new writers. And having been through that myself, I kind of learned to pick up on them. I think the most noticeable thing I recognize in new writers is that they try to make their style very deliberate. In other words, they tend to pick a writing style separate from the topic matter, and they form-fit the two together. The end result is that both the style and the expressiveness are weakened. Once Yuri finds her train of thought, it's as if her demeanor totally changes. Her stammering is completely gone, and she sounds like an expert. Of course, that's not something you can be blamed for. There are so many different skills and techniques that go into writing even a simple poem. Not just finding them and building them, but getting them to work together is probably the most challenging part. It might take you some time, but it all comes with practice and learning by example and trying new things. I also hope that everyone else in the club gives you valuable feedback. Natsuki can be a little biased, though. Biased? How? Well, never mind. I shouldn't be talking about people like that. Sorry. It's fine. I'm not sure if Yuri is apologizing to herself, to me, or to Natsuki. Do you mind if I read your poem now? Please do. I'd love to share my thought process behind it. Yuri smiles dreamily as if that's a rare opportunity for her, which itself is kind of funny. After all, isn't this supposed to be a literature club? Ghost under the light. The tendrils of my hair illuminate beneath the amber glow, bathing. It must be this one, the last remaining streetlight to have withstood the test of time, the last yet to be replaced by the sickening blue-green hue of the future. I bathe, calm, breathing the air of the present, but living in the past. The light flickers. I flicker back. Oh, I feel like my finger snaps here. I'm sorry to have such terrible handwriting. What? I wasn't thinking that at all. But it took you a long time to read. Did it really? Well, I just don't read script very often. I actually think your handwriting is pretty. Eh? Well, that's a relief. Also, I liked the poem. Even though it's short, it was really descriptive. It wasn't too short. I usually write longer poems. Oh, not at all. I'm really glad you like it. I'll be honest, since it's our first time sharing, I wanted to write something a little more mild. Something easy to digest, I suppose. Are you into ghosts, Yuri? Actually, the story isn't about a ghost at all, Ten. Really? I must have totally missed the point. Well, I suppose you did only glance over it after all. But remember that poets often express their own thoughts, feelings, and experiences in their work. They usually do more than tell a simple story or paint a picture. In this case, perhaps the subject of the poem is only being symbolically compared to a ghost. Lingering in her last remaining place of comfort, unable to let go of the past, and soon to be left with nothing. That's a lot more solemn, putting it that way. I hadn't even thought of that. That's impressive. It's nothing, really. Well, it makes me happy that you think that. Just remember that it won't be long before you pick up on these things, too. Yeah, maybe you're right. I guess I'll have to keep trying. I'm counting on you. Who should I show my poem to next? We're going to go ahead with Monica. Well, save Natsuki for the last, because I think she's going to like it. Actually, I don't know. Monica might like it the least out of all of them. I don't think she came up when I was doing the word exercise at all. So Jamie, while I'm in a little break here, how's your evening going? Hope you're still feeling well. Natsuki, yeah? Well, it's about what I expected from someone like you. Well, that's a little blunt. Well, excuse me. It's not like I said it was bad. It just didn't evoke any emotions. So basically, it's not cute enough for your taste. Do you want to get smacked? I'll pass. Well, anyway, I guess I need to show you mine. Not that you'll like it. Eagles can fly. Monkeys can climb. Crickets can leap. Horses can race. Owls can seek. Cheetahs can run. Eagles can fly. People can try, but that's about it. Yeah. I told you that you weren't going to like it. I like it. What? Just be honest. I am. Why are you so convinced that I wouldn't like it? Well, because everyone in high school thinks that writing has to be all sophisticated and stuff. So people don't even take my writing seriously. But isn't the point of poems for people to express themselves? Your writing style wouldn't make your message any less valid. Yes, exactly. I liked when it's easy to read, but it hits you hard. Like in this poem. Seeing everyone around you do great things can be really disheartening. So I decided to write about it. Yeah, I understand. But the other nice thing about simple writing is that it puts more weight on the wordplay. Like, I set it for a rhyme at the end, but then made it fall flat on purpose. It helps bring out the feeling in the last line. So you did. I guess more went into it than I realized. That's what it means to be a pro. I'm glad you learned something. Didn't expect that from the youngest one here, did you? Yeah, I guess not. I decided to humor her with that last comment. I don't really care how old everyone is, but if Natsuki is feeling proud, then I won't take that away from her. Here we go with Monica. Evening's going good. Tried writing a zombie book on bus rides to and from school. Really? Oh, that's cool. I'm actually, hey, it's thematic. It fits the theme of the evening. No, I'm really interested to hear more. Hi, Ten-Ton. Having a good time so far? Yeah. Good. Glad to hear it. By the way, since you're new and everything, if you ever have any suggestions for the club, like new activities or things we can do better, I'm always listening. Don't be afraid to bring things up, okay? All right, I'll keep that in mind. Of course, I'll be afraid to bring things up. I'm much better at just going with the flow until I'm more settled in. Anyway, want to share your poem with me? It's kind of embarrassing, but I guess I have to. Don't worry, Ten-Ton. We're all a little embarrassed today, you know. But it's that sort of barrier that we'll all learn to get past soon. Yeah, that's true. I hand Monica my poem. I like this one. It makes me think of something Sayori would like. Is that so? You and Sayori are really good friends, right? I wouldn't be surprised if you had these sorts of things in common. Oh, well, we may be good friends, but Sayori and I are actually really different. Well, that may be the case, but maybe there are also some similarities that you wouldn't expect. The way she talks about you, it sounds like the two of you really care about each other's well-being. Even if you show it in different ways, it ends up being more similar than you'd think. So I think that's the kind of vibe I get when reading your poem. You sure you're not reading into it too much? I could be. Oh gosh, I sound like Yuri. But in any case, Sayori's writing has a kind of gentle feel to it. I can tell that she likes exploring with emotions like happiness and sadness. Who knew that someone so happy would enjoy sad things too? Yeah, that's totally unexpected. Well, to each their own. And you shouldn't be afraid to experiment a little bit either. I'm sure I'll end up trying different things a lot. It could take a while before I feel comfortable doing this. That's okay. I'd love to see you try new things. It's the best way to find the kind of style that suits you. Everyone else might be a little bit biased toward their own kinds of styles, but I'll always help you find what suits you the most. So don't force yourself to write the way everyone else wants you to write. It's not like you have to worry about impressing them or anything. Ah, ha, ha, ha. Anyway, do you want to read my poem now? Don't worry, I'm not very good. You sound pretty confident for someone who claims to be not very good. Well, that's because I have to sound confident. That doesn't mean I always feel that way, you know. I see. Well, let's read it then. Hole in the wall. It couldn't have been me. See the direction the spackle protrudes. A noisy neighbor, an angry boyfriend? I'll never know. I wasn't home. I peer inside for a clue. No, I can't see. I reel, blind, like a film left out in the sun, but it's too late. My retinas, already scorched with a permanent copy of the meaningless image. It's just a little hole. It wasn't too bright. It was too deep. Stretching forever into everything, a hole of infinite choices. I realized now that I wasn't looking in. I was looking out, and he on the other side was looking in. My goodness. So, what do you think? It's very freeform, if that's what you call it. Sorry, I'm not really the right person to ask for feedback. Oh, it's okay. Yeah, that kind of style has gotten pretty popular nowadays. That is, a lot of poems have been putting emphasis on the timing between words and lines. When performed out loud, it can be really powerful. What was the inspiration behind this one? Well, I'm not sure if I know how to put it. I guess you could say that I had some kind of epiphany recently. It's been influencing my poems a bit. An epiphany? Yeah, something like that. I'm kind of nervous to talk about deep stuff like that because it's kind of coming on strongly. Maybe after everyone is better friends with each other. Anyway, here's Monica's writing tip of the day. Sometimes when you're writing a poem or a story, your brain gets too fixated on a specific point. If you try so hard to make it perfect, then you'll never make any progress. Just force yourself to get something down on the paper and tidy it up later. Another way to think about it is this. If you keep your pen in the same spot for too long, you'll just get a big dark puddle of ink. So just move your hand and go with the flow. That's my advice for today. It's good advice, frankly. Very, very timely. Thanks for listening. Let's see, I never got too far into it. You had a hard time with trying to come up with something that's not just a knockoff of things I've seen. Yeah, I know the feeling, but it's like getting writing advice from the game too. But yeah, I've heard a lot of advice saying that first drafts, basically, you just kind of, like he was just saying in the game, you just kind of go with the flow, right? And you let the idea kind of evolve and come out on its own, and you go back and fix it later. I think it was Neil Gaiman was talking about how your second draft is, your first draft is really rough. Second draft is where you go back and make it look like you knew what you were doing the whole time. So it's difficult advice to follow, though. Phew, I guess that's everyone. I glance around the room. It was a little more stressful than I anticipated. It's as if everyone is judging me for my mediocre writing abilities. Even if they're just being nice, there's no way my poems can stand up to theirs. This is a literature club, after all. I sigh. I guess that's what I ended up getting myself into. Across the room, Sayori and Monica are happily chatting. My eyes land on Yuri and Natsuki. They gingerly exchange sheets of paper, sharing their respective poems. As they read in tandem, I watch each of their expressions change. Natsuki's eyebrows furrow in frustration. Meanwhile, Yuri smiles sadly. What's with this language? Eh? Did you say something? Oh, it's nothing. Natsuki dismissively returns the poem to the desk with one hand. I guess you could say it's fancy. Ah, thanks. Yeah, that gets me all the time. I mean, it is funny, but what they're describing in the game is literally where I am right now. There's one teeny little transition I'm stuck on and have been for a long time. I'm a perfectionist, and that'll kill you. That'll just end your writing right away. And so I have seen it. I've written long enough now to see it happen where you get a little something on the page and leave it alone. And I don't know how many times I've written stuff and gone, oh my gosh, this is garbage. I hate this. Oh, this is miserable. I don't ever want to come back and look at this. And then give it a couple months of, you move on, you write other things, you come back, and it's like, this is not so bad. Like, it needs fixing. Maybe it needs a little, but it really does work. Getting something down, leaving it alone for a while, coming back later, it's amazing what you'll find. But yeah, trying to get it perfect the first time is miserable. Yuri, yours is cute. Cute? Did you completely miss the symbolism or something? It's clearly about the feeling of giving up. How can that be cute? I know that. I just meant the language, I guess. I was trying to say something nice. Eh? You mean you have to try that hard to come up with something nice to say? Thanks, but it really didn't come out nice at all. Well, I do have a couple of suggestions. If I was looking for suggestions, I would have asked someone who actually liked it. Which people did, by the way. Sayori liked it, and Tenton did too. So based on that, I'll gladly give you some suggestions of my own. First of all, excuse me, I appreciate the offer, but I've spent a long time establishing my writing style. I don't expect it to change anytime soon, unless, of course, I come across something particularly inspiring, which I haven't yet. And Tenton liked my poem too, He even told me he was impressed by it. Natsuki suddenly stands up. Oh? I didn't realize you were so invested in trying to impress our new member, Yuri. Eh? That's not what You're just... Yuri stands up as well. Maybe you're just jealous that Tenton appreciates my advice more than he appreciated yours. Huh? And how do you know he didn't appreciate my advice more? Are you that full of yourself? No. If I was full of myself, I would deliberately go out of my way to make everything I do overly cutesy. I know that's not what she's saying, but... is everyone okay? My voice is a little quiet. Oh, cool. Okay, thank you for the tip. Let's do this. Crank that down just a little bit. Let me know if that's any better. Well, you know what? I wasn't the one who... I gotta decide to just do this. I wasn't the one who... I wasn't the one whose boobs magically grew a size bigger as soon as Tenton started showing up. Natsuki! Natsuki, that's a little... This doesn't involve you. I don't like fighting, you guys. Suddenly both girls turned to me as if they just noticed I was standing there. Tenton? She's just trying to make me look bad. That's not true. She started it. If she could get over herself and learn to appreciate that simple writing is more effective, then this wouldn't have happened in the first place. What's the point in making your poems all convoluted for no reason? The meaning should jump out at the reader, not force them to have to figure it out. Help me explain that to her, Tenton. Wait, there's a reason we have so many deep and expressive words in our language. Cool, thanks. It's the only way to convey complex feelings and meaning the most effectively. Avoiding them is not only unnecessarily limiting yourself, it's also a waste. You understand that, right, Tenton? Technically, in my own writing, I gotta agree with Yuri. I'm not a Hemingway fan. Well? How did I get dragged into this in the first place? It's not like I know anything about writing. Whomever I agree with, they'll probably think more highly of me. So, of course, that's going to be... Help me, Sayori. Oh boy. I'm gonna make a decision here. We're gonna go ahead and do this. Natsuki, you're right that I liked your poem. See? Wait. Oh, this is gonna be so painful. That's not an excuse for you to be so mean. You shouldn't pick a fight just because someone's opinion is different. That's not what happened at all. Yuri wouldn't even take my poem seriously. I understand. Yuri? Eh? You're a seriously talented writer. It's no secret that I was impressed. Well, But here's the thing. No matter how simple or refined someone's writing style is, they're still putting feelings into it. It becomes something really personal. That's why Natsuki felt threatened when you said her poem was cute. I see. I didn't notice that I'm sorry. But Natsuki, you took it way too far. Yuri means well, and if you just told her how you felt, then this wouldn't have happened in the first place. Are you kidding? That's exactly what I did. It was her that... Natsuki, I think that's enough. You both said some things that you didn't mean. Yuri apologized. Don't you think you should too? Natsuki clenches her fists. In the end, nobody has taken her side. She's trapped at this point, being defiant only because she can't handle the pressure. I end up feeling bad for her. I know... Sometimes when I'm hurt, it helps to take a walk and clear my head. Sayori, she doesn't need to... You know what? I'm going to do that. It'll spare me from having to look at all your faces right now. Without warning, Natsuki snatches up her own poem from the desk and storms out. There's a cat extraction going on in the background here. On her way out, she crumbles up the poem with her hands and throws it in the trash. Natsuki? She really didn't need to do that. I looked across the room. Yuri has her chin buried in her hands while she stares down at her desk. I gingerly approach her and sit in an adjacent chair. Sigh. Everything all right? So embarrassed. I can't believe I acted like that. You probably hate me now. Yeah, so they both got upset, but Natsuki is the one I sided more with Yuri here. You would say their names with a Japanese accent if I can. Yuri, Natsuki, Monica. I'm just gonna say it's Monica. Anyway, we'll figure it out. But yeah, so I sided with Yuri because, and so in the end, like, no one took Natsuki's side, so that's why she left. But yeah, it wasn't as clear-cut as I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be really blatant, like, no, I didn't like your poem at all, you're wrong. So, turns out in-game 10 ton is sort of a sensitive sort. Anyway. No, Yuri, how did anyone not have gotten frustrated after being treated like that? You handled it as well as anyone could. I don't think any less of you. Well... Alright, I believe you. Thanks, Tenton, you're too kind. And thankful to have you as part of the club now. It's nothing. One more thing. That one thing Natsuki said about, you know, I would never do anything so shameful. So, What thing did Natsuki say? Embarrassment. Well, never mind that. I'm going to go make some tea. Oh, good idea. Make enough for more than one person, okay? Yeah. Okay, everyone. Actually, a little break here. I should probably get a drink, actually. Oh, my water bottle's like 1,000,000 miles away. Alright. It's just about time for us to leave. How did you all feel about sharing poems? It was a lot of fun. Well, I'd say it was worth it. She's back. I thought she left. Didn't she leave? Pretty sure she left. It was alright. Well, mostly. Ten, how about you? Yeah, I'd say the same. It was a neat thing to talk about with everyone. Awesome. In that case, we'll do the same thing tomorrow. Maybe you learn something from your friends too. We're writing poems again, so your poems will turn out even better. I think to myself, I did learn a little bit more about the kinds of poems everyone likes. With any luck, that means I can at least do a better job impressing those I want to impress. I nod to myself with newfound determination. Ten, ready to walk home? Sure, let's go. Sayori beams at me. Truly has been a while since Sayori and I have spent this much time together. I can't really say I'm not enjoying it either. Sayori. Wait, I don't know. About what happened earlier. Eh? What do you mean? You know, between Yuri and Natsuki? Does that kind of thing happen often? No. It's really the first time I've seen them fight like that. I promise they're both wonderful people. You don't hate them, do you? No, I don't hate them. I just wanted your opinion, that's all. I can see why they'd make good friends with you. You know, Ten, it's nice that I get to spend time with you in the club, but I think seeing you get along with everyone is what makes me the happiest. And I think everyone really likes you too. That's... that little laugh, I don't know how to do that little laugh. Every day is going to be so much fun. Sigh. Thud. Looks like Sayori still hasn't caught on to the kind of situation I'm in. How does this turn horror? I don't know, honestly. I mean, there's been a little hint that some of them are not well, that maybe they're dealing with stuff, but it's been pretty subtle so far. Looks like Sayori's, either that or I'm part of the biggest prank, like, in a long time, but I don't think so. Little quiet. That's okay. It looks like Sayori still hasn't caught on to the kind of situation I'm in. Sure, being friends with everyone is nice, but does it really need to stop there? We'll just have to see what the future holds, Sayori. I pat Sayori on the shoulder. I said that more to myself than to her, but it's easy to use Sayori as an internal monologue sometimes. Okay. Yeah, let's do this. Alright, here we go. Poem time. We're going to go with... what? Meter... Oh, she liked that. Meter Rain Cloud. Starscape Strawberry. Already did Waterfall, I think. Melody. Headphones. I don't know. Rose? Universe. Already did Graveyard, too. Sensation. Melancholy. Aura. Boy, she's really enjoying the poem this time. Fantasy, dark, ocean. Alone. The thing I'm noticing is that Sayori, despite being all cutie bouncy, really likes all the really sort of grim words. Unending. Okay, she liked that. Heaven sent stream, sparkle sinister, disarray. Oh, nope, she liked that one. Agonizing. Oh boy. Okay. Fear. Yeah, see? Explode. So this time Yuri seemed to really like the poem better. We'll see. Another day passes, and it's time for the club meeting already. I've gotten a little more comfortable here over the past couple of days. Entering the club room, the usual scene greets me. Hi, Ten. Yo, Sayori. Looks like you're in a good mood today. I'm just still not used to you being in the club, that's all. I see. That's a pretty simple thing for you to get you in a good mood. But I guess it's always the simple things with you anyway. Speaking of which, I'm kinda hungry. Will you come with me to buy a snack? No thanks. Eh? That's not like you at all. I have my reasons. Why don't we take a look at your purse, Sayori? Huh? Why that all of a sudden? No reason, really. I just wanted to look at it. Sayori nervously retrieves her coin purse. She fumbles with the latch and gets it open. Then she turns it upside down and it lets its contents spill onto the desk. Only 2 small coins fall out. Knew it. I can see right through you, Sayori. That's not fair. How did you even know? It's simple. If you had enough money in the first place, you would have brought a snack before coming to the club room. So either you're not hungry and wanted an excuse to take a walk, Or you plan to conveniently forget that you spent all your money so that I would lend you some. But there's one more thing. You're always hungry. So that only leaves the one option. I give up. Don't make me feel guilty. Excuse me. If you feel guilty, that means you deserve to feel guilty. Yuri suddenly giggles. Eh? I didn't notice that she was listening in. Her face is in her book, as always. I wasn't listening or anything. It was just something in my book. Yuri, tell Tenten to let me borrow some money. That's... Don't get me involved like that, Sayori. What? Why look through her purse, creeper? I know, right? Yeah, I don't know if you saw earlier the whole I'll just button up your jacket for you moment. It's like, dude, don't. This is not what Tenten would do. Hang on. Don't get me involved like that, Sayori. Besides, you should only buy what you can responsibly afford. And frankly, after pulling the mischievous little stunt like that, your suffering is fair enough retribution. I didn't mean that. I got too absorbed in my book. I really like when you speak your mind, Yuri. It doesn't happen much, but it's a fun side of you. There's no way you could think that. You were right, though. I did something bad, and now I have to accept the revolution? Retribution. That. Still, coming from you, Sayori. I guess there's a little devil inside all of us, isn't there? Don't let her fool you. Sayori knows exactly what she's doing. After all, she told you guys she was bringing me to the club before she even told me. But you wouldn't have come if it weren't for the cupcakes. So I had to trick Natsuki into making them. Come on, give me more credit than that, Sayori. Whap. Out of nowhere, something smacks Sayori in the face and tumbles onto a desk. Ow. What was... A cookie? Sure enough, it's a giant cookie wrapped in plastic. Sayori glances around. Is this a miracle? Miracle cookie. It's because I paid my retribution. Actually, that one almost worked. I was just going to give it to you, but then I heard you blab about the cupcakes. It was totally worth seeing your reaction, though. Natsuki, that's so nice of you. I'm so happy. Sayori hugs the cookie. Geez, just eat it. Sayori rapidly tears open the wrapper and takes a big bite. So good. Sayori suddenly clasps her hands over her mouth. Uh-oh. I bit my tongue. Thinking poison cookie there for a minute. You're going through a lot over just one cookie. Natsuki takes a bite of her own cookie. Yours looks really good too, Natsuki. Can I try it? Jeez. Beggars can't be choosers. But yours is chocolate. Yeah, why do you think I gave you that one? Fine. Still, I'm really happy that you shared this one with me. Sayori gets out of her seat and goes behind Natsuki and then wraps her arms around her. Jeez. I get it. Cookie still in hand, Natsuki reaches up to nudge Sayori off her. Sayori suddenly leans down and takes a bite out of Natsuki's cookie. Your brother and I played a game called Fable, which had a memory system with people. So if you upset someone, it would say so, and so we'll remember that. This game, for some reason, just reminds me of that. Yeah, I think there's probably going to be a little bit of that. I think there's going to be through the poems and the various interactions here, we're going to build up affinity with one person or another. So, should be interesting. Hey, did you seriously just do that? Mouth full, Sayori trots away to safety. Yuri and I laugh as well. Geez, you're such a kid sometimes. Monica, can you tell Sayori... Eh? Natsuki glances around. Monica isn't in the club room. Where's Monica anyway? Good question. Have any of you heard anything about her being late today? Not me. Yeah, I haven't either. That's a bit unusual. I hope she's okay. Of course she's okay. She probably just had something to do today. She's pretty popular after all. Eh? You don't think she has a... I wouldn't be surprised. Let's see, it was also a joke for some reason that whenever you or your brother does anything nice for each other, we always say, Tim Allen will remember that. Nice. I have one. Tim Allen? Like Tim Allen, Tim the Toolman Taylor, Tim Allen? Or was Tim Allen a character in the game, too? I wouldn't be surprised. She's probably more desirable than all of us combined. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we'll use that for that laughing sound now. Excuse me? Suddenly the door swings open. Sorry, I'm super sorry. Oh, there you are. I didn't mean to be late. I hope you guys weren't worried or anything. Eh? Monica chose the club over her boyfriend after all? After all, you're so strong-willed. Boyfriend? What on earth are you all talking about? Or, whatever. Monica quizzically glances at me. Never mind that. What held you up anyway? Oh, well, my last period today was study hall. To be honest, I just kind of lost track of time. That makes no sense, though. You would have heard the bell ring, at least. I must not have heard it since I was practicing piano. Hey, Nikki. Yes, I'm playing Doki Doki Literature Club. It's my first time ever. It's my first visual novel. It is my first time playing this game. I've seen virtually nothing of the content. So, yeah. I thought I'd do something a little different. Little bit of a stretch. A little reach. Broaden my horizons. And I'm also just very curious about it, so... let's see. Piano? I wasn't aware you played music as well, Monica. I don't, really. I just kind of started recently. I've always wanted to learn piano. That's so cool. You should play something for us, Monica. That's... Monica looks at me. It's a very, very slow burn game. Okay, good to know. I think I had heard that it takes... Like, how long have I been going now? Hour and a half? Yeah. So I heard that it's going to be a little bit before we kind of get into stuff. Like, this is not going to be a quick exercise, so that's cool. I mean, it's good, right? They're doing this, it's character development. They're getting you to know, you're getting to know the characters, you're building some attachments, you're at least getting familiar with them. Building relationships. Monica looks at me. Maybe once I get a little better, I will. Yay! My apologies. I went into this thinking I'm going to read every line. And there are certain sounds I just can't emulate from anime. So, should get like a cast together to do a reading sometime. Yes, Tim the Toolman Taylor, Tim Allen. I have no explanation why, but Tim Allen just willed himself into our lives. Oh, that's fun. It's strangely creepy, but also fun. Oh, that sounds cool. I'd also look forward to it. Is that so? In that case, I won't let you down, Ten-Ton. Monica smiles sweetly. I didn't mean any pressure or anything like that. Don't worry. I've been practicing a lot recently. Practicing a whole lot recently. And I'd really love the chance to share once I'm ready. I see. In that case, best of luck. Thanks. So I didn't miss anything, did I? No, not really. I chose to leave out Sayori's mischievous escapade. I'm sure Natsuki will end up complaining to her anyway. It looks like everyone has already settled down. Sayori somehow already finished her entire cookie. Yuri's back to her book, and Natsuki disappeared into the closet. I'm really curious to talk to Yuri a little bit more, but at the same time I would feel bad for distracting her from reading. I catch a glimpse of the cover of her book. It looks like the same book that she lent to me. More than that, she seems to be on the first few pages. Crap. I think she noticed me looking at her. She sneaks another glance at me and our eyes meet for a split second. That only makes her hide her face deeper in her book. Sorry. I was just spacing out. I mutter this, sensing I made her uncomfortable. Oh, it's fine. If I was focused, then I probably wouldn't have noticed in the first place. But I'm just rereading a bit of this, so... That's a book you gave me, right? Mm-hmm. I wanted to reread some of it. Not for any particular reason, just curious. Oh, just curious, how come you have 2 copies of the same book? Ah, well, when I stopped at the bookstore yesterday... that's not what I meant. I mean, I just happened to buy 2 of them. I see. There's something fairly obvious here that Yuri isn't telling me, but I decide to let it go. I'll definitely start reading it soon. But I'm glad to hear. Once it starts to pick up, you might have a hard time putting it down. It's a very engaging and relatable story. Is that so? What's it about, anyway? Well... Yuri closes the book and scans her eyes over the back. See, but I bet it's going to be Natsuki will remember you siding with Yuri and then end up stalking you or something. Yeah, could be. Could be. Yuri closes the book and scans her eyes over the back. The book is titled Portrait of Markov. Portrait of Markov. There's an ominous-looking eye symbol on the front cover. Alright. I just wanted to make sure I don't accidentally give anything away. Basically, it's about this girl in high school who moves in with her long-lost younger sister. But as soon as she does so, her life gets really strange. She gets targeted by these people who escape from a human experiment prison. And while her life is in danger, she needs to desperately choose who to trust. No matter what she does, she ends up destroying most of her relationships, and her life starts to fall apart. It's kind of dark, isn't it? Yuri made it sound like it was going to be a nice story, so that dark turn came from nowhere. Yuri gently giggles all of a sudden. Are you not a fan of that sort of thing, Tentan? Actually, I would read that. Hey, real-life Tentan would read that. No, it's not that. I mean, I definitely enjoy those kinds of stories, so don't worry. I hope so. Yeah, I totally forgot that Yuri is into those things. She's so shy and reclusive on the outside, but her mind seems to be completely different. It's just that those kinds of stories, they challenge you to look at life from a strange new perspective. When horrible things happen, not just because someone wants to be evil, but because they have their own goals, or their own philosophy that they believe in. Then suddenly, when you thought you related to the protagonist, there made out to be the naive one for letting their one-sided morals interfere with the villain's plans. I'm rambling, aren't I? Not again. I'm sorry. Hey, don't apologize. I haven't lost interest or anything. Well, I guess it's all right then. But I feel like I should let you know that I have this problem. When I let things like books or writing fill my thoughts, I kind of forget to pay attention to other people. So I'm sorry if I end up saying something strange, and please stop me if I start talking too much. I really don't think you need to worry. That just means you're passionate about reading. The least I can do is listen. It's a literature club, after all. That's true. Psychological horror, guessing with dark humor, edgy topics. Yeah, I think it gets fairly, I don't know everywhere it goes, but I think it deals with stuff. Definitely psychological, but I don't think just. So, I guess, yeah, hard to describe. Well, that's true. In fact, I might as well get started reading it, right? Well, you don't have to. What are you saying? Just a moment ago, you said you were looking forward to it. Let me just get the book. I quickly retrieved the book that I put into my bag. All right, it's fine if I sit here, right? I slip into the seat next to Yuri's. Yeah. Are you sure? You seem a little apprehensive. I'm sorry. It's not that I don't want you to. It's just something I'm not very used to. That is, reading in company with someone. I see. Well, just tell me if I end up distracting you or anything. All right. I open the book and start the prologue. I soon understand what Yuri means about reading in company. It's as if I can feel her presence over my shoulder as I read. It's not a particularly bad thing, maybe just a little distracting, but the feeling is somewhat comforting. Yuri is in the corner of my eye. I realize that she's not actually looking at her own book. I glance over. It looks like she's reading from my book instead. Sorry, I was just... Yuri, you really apologize a lot, don't you? I do? I don't really mean to. Sorry. I mean, ha ha ha. Here, this should work, right? I slide my desk until it's up against Yuri's, then hold my book more between the two of them. I suppose so. Yuri timidly closes her own copy. Once we each lean in a little bit, our shoulders are almost touching. It feels like my left arm is in the way, so instead I use my right hand to hold the book open. I guess that makes it kind of difficult to turn the page. Here. It's like that scene in Lady and the Tramp, but with a book instead of pasta. Yuri takes her left arm and holds the left side of the book between her thumb and forefinger. I do the same with my right arm on the right side of the book. That way I turn the page, and Yuri slides it under her thumb after it flips to her side. But in holding it like this, we're huddled even closer together than before. It's actually kind of distracting me. It's as if I can feel the warmth of Yuri's face, and she's in the corner of my vision. Are you ready? Huh? To turn the page. Oh, sorry. I think I got a bit distracted for a second. I glance over at Yuri's face again, and our eyes meet. I don't know how I'll be able to keep up with her. That's okay. You're not as used to reading, right? I don't mind being patient if it takes you a bit longer. It's probably the least I can do, since you've been so patient with me. It's Lady in the Literature Club. Thanks. We continue reading. Yuri no longer asks me if I'm ready to turn the page. Instead, I just assume that she finishes the page before me, so I turn it by my own volition. We continue the first chapter in silence. Even so, turning each page almost feels like an intimate exchange. My thumb gently letting go of the page, letting it flutter over to her side as she catches it under her own thumb. Hey Yuri, this might be a silly thought, but the main character kind of reminds me of you a little bit. You think so? How does she? Well, I guess she's more blunt in a lot of ways, but she also second-guesses all the things that she says and does. Hey, Mr. Dave, how are you doing? Good to see you. Haven't seen you for a while. Doing something about as different from Fallout 76 tonight as you can play. Very new for me too, but having fun. Also feeling super awkward at times, but mostly having fun. Let's see, she also second guesses all the things. Like she's afraid she'll do something wrong. It's not like I can see into your head or anything, but they're kind of reminiscent of some of your mannerisms. I see. Yuri remains silent for a moment. But, Tenton, that's probably a terrible thing to have in common with her. It's so embarrassing that you think that. Wait, I didn't mean it in a bad way or anything. Sorry, I really didn't know you were self-conscious about that sort of thing. I guess I more meant that it's kind of cute. Oh, what are you saying all of a sudden? Good, glad to hear it. Let's see. Okay, everyone. Jump. I think it's about time we share today's poems with each other. We might not have enough time if we wait too long. Yuri exhales, spared from finishing her thought. Is that all right, Yuri? You look kind of down. I'm sorry if you haven't been looking forward to this. It's fine. Yuri releases her hand from the book, causing it to close on top of my thumb. All right, I guess I'll do some more reading tonight. Or would you prefer I only read it with you? I guess I don't have too much of a preference either way. In that case, I'll read a little bit more tonight. It'll be more fun to read with you after it picks up a bit, you know? That's good reasoning. In that case, feel free to finish the first 2 chapters in your own time. Homework. All right. I stand up. I make a mental note of where I left off in the book, and then slip it back into my bag. All right. Who should I show my poem to first? Let's just do this. This is going to be painful. Well, it's not really any worse than your last one. But I can't really say it's any better either. Huh? Phew? What's that? Phew what? Well, anything that isn't a train wreck I'll take as a win. And I get the feeling you're probably the most critical. Hey, what makes you... Wait, maybe that was a compliment. Glad to see someone recognizes my experience. Well, then keep practicing, and maybe you'll be as good as me someday. That's, Something tells me Natsuki completely missed the point. Come to think of it, this kind of reminds me of Sayori's poem from yesterday. Huh? You think so? Yeah, well, I guess if you've been friends with her for so long, you might be on the same wavelength. But you never really struck me as her type. So it's a horror game, but it's a horror game that takes a while to build up to the horror part. Like, it starts off as a very cute-looking sort of visual novel thing. But everything I've read says it's definitely a horror game. There's most of the reviews I read were like, look, heed the content warnings. If you are depressed or feeling excessive anxiety, maybe don't play the game. It might not be good for you. It's just I think they do a very slow intro with the characters to kind of get you acclimated before things start to kind of go haywire here. So, yes, I think it is psychological horror. We just kind of have to wait and see. I haven't gone and looked at the nature of the psychological horror. I've seen some, I guess not too revealing stills from the game that suggest that later, yeah, things get kind of weird. But I intentionally didn't look at too much of the detail because I didn't want to risk spoilers. So I should have my wife look at it for me just to kind of gauge it. But I feel bad doing that to her, so we're not actually going to do that. Let's see, but he never really struck me as her type. Sayori has a type all of a sudden. Well, Natsuki Timton Allen will remember that. Nice. Timton Noggin. Sayori has a type all of a sudden. Well, I don't know, but honestly, how can someone so fluffy spend so much time with someone like you? It's like she's dragging around a dead weight. Ooh, harsh. That was a little unnecessary. But think of it this way, if it weren't for me, she'd probably just fly away and letting go of a balloon. Like letting go of a balloon. You could say we take care of each other in our own way. Whatever it is, I don't get it. Oh yeah, I guess I'm supposed to show you my poem. Here. Amy likes spiders. You know what I heard about Amy? Amy likes spiders. Icky, wriggly, hairy, ugly spiders. That's why I'm not friends with her. Amy has a cute singing voice. I heard her singing my favorite love song. Every time she sang the chorus, my heart would pound to the rhythm of the words. But she likes spiders. That's why I'm not friends with her. One time I hurt my leg really bad. Amy helped me up and took me to the nurse. I tried not to let her touch me. She likes spiders, so her hands are probably gross. That's why I'm not friends with her. Amy has a lot of friends. I always see her talking to people. She probably talks about spiders. What if her friends start to like spiders too? That's why I'm not friends with her. It doesn't matter if she has other hobbies. It doesn't matter if she keeps it private. It doesn't matter if it doesn't hurt anyone. It's gross. She's gross. The world is better off without spider lovers, and I'm going to tell everyone. Yeep. Not bad, right? It's quite a bit longer than yesterday's. Yesterday's was way too short. I was just warming up. I hope you didn't think that was the best I could do. No, of course not. Anyway, the message is pretty straightforward in this poem. I doubt I'll have to explain it. Sometimes you can explain complicated issues with much simpler analogies, and it helps people realize how stupid they're being. Like anyone would agree that the subject of the poem is an ignorant jerk. Do you know people like that? I thought it was still her. Of course, it's about how everyone thinks That doesn't matter. It can be about anything. I wrote it to be easy to relate to. Everyone has some kind of weird hobby or a guilty pleasure, something that you're afraid if people find out they'd make fun of you or think less of you. But that just makes people stupid. Who cares what someone likes as long as they're not hurting anyone and it makes them happy? I think people really need to learn to respect others for liking weird things. You dislike Natsuki a lot. She's got an attitude, definitely, but... Well, you're definitely right. At least I can relate to that. And I'm sure a lot of other people can too. It's what I do best, after all. I don't like writing unless there's a good message to take away from it. Like conveying emotions is important. But I want to make people think, not just feel. Remember that. Yeesh. I'm going to write a good one for tomorrow too, so look forward to it. Alrighty. Who do we go with next? So I think Yuri's going to be the most interesting one. We'll kind of work down from... Yeah, go to Monica next. Hi again, Ten-Ton. How's the writing going? Alright, I guess. I'll take that. As long as it's not going bad. I'm happy that you're applying yourself. Maybe soon you'll come up with a masterpiece. I wouldn't count on that. You never know. Want to share what you wrote for today? Sure, here you go. I give my poem to Monica. Alright. Great job, Ten-Ton. I was going ooh in my head while reading it. It's really metaphorical. I'm not sure why, but I didn't expect you to go for something so deep. I guess I underestimated you. It's easiest for me to keep everyone's expectations low. That way it always counts when I put in some effort. That's not very fair. Well, I guess it worked anyway. So you know that Yuri likes this kind of writing, right? Writing that's full of imagery and symbolism. Unlike Sayori, who likes using simple and direct words to describe happiness and sadness. Yuri likes it when readers are left to derive their own meaning out of it. It's very challenging to write like that effectively. No, Monica is just the president of the club. So she's the one who, founded it. See, both allowing people to get something out of it just by feel, or letting them deeply analyze all of these nuances. It can take years of practice, which I'm assuming Yuri has at this point. I never really asked, though. I'm sure it's nowhere near her level yet. Well, don't worry so much about that. You do your own thing. Just keep exploring and learn by trying new things. But anyway, you want to read my poem now? I like the way this one turned out, so I hope you do too. Alright, let's take a look. Save me. Oh, Dolly. The colors, they won't stop. Bright, beautiful colors, flashing, expanding, piercing, red, green, blue, an endless cacophony of meaningless noise. The noise that won't stop. Violent, grating waveforms, squeaking, screeching, piercing. Sine, cosine, tangent. Like playing a chalkboard on a turntable. Like playing a vinyl on a pizza crust. An endless poem of meaninglessness. It's even more abstract than your last one, huh? You think so, in-game Ten-Ton? Really? I guess it's just the way I write. I'm sorry if you don't like it. No, I never said that. It's just the kind of thing I've never really seen before, I guess. I kind of like playing with my space on the paper. Choosing where and how to space your words can totally change the mood of the poem. Yeah, I just asked E.E. Cummings. It's almost like magic. The way I wrote the lines really short makes it feel like they're trying to speak over the noise. I see. It's still hard for me to tell what it's about, though. Well,
Sometimes asking what a poem is about isn't the right question. A poem can be as abstract as a physical expression of a feeling, or a conversation with a reader. So putting it that way, not every poem is about something. Anyway, here's Monika's writing tip of the day. Monika actually has good writing tips so far, so I'm kind of eager to hear this. Sometimes you'll find yourself facing a difficult decision. When that happens, don't forget to save your game. You never know when you might change your mind. Click. Good for you, Dan. I hadn't saved the whole time, so that was kind of risky anyway. Or when something unexpected may happen. Wait, is this tip even about writing? Teehee. What am I even talking about? Ha ha ha. That's my advice for today. Thanks for listening. So Monika definitely is broken somehow, right? Like that's just plain as anything. She's like the one who is carrying all this pressure of being a successful student, and yeah, I'm terrible with poems too. I have this goal. We'll deal with that in a minute. So Monika, yeah, she's going to be messed up somehow. We don't know how, we don't know what's going to happen here, but reading her poem, seeing the contrast between that and her personality, knowing the kinds of pressure she's under, she's already been late once, she's kind of making stuff up. What's going on with Monika? So yeah, poems. I thought I hated poetry for a long time. E. Cummings and his kind of weird, I liked in high school, really didn't like most poetry. Frost, yeah, I don't know anyone who really, I don't know who doesn't. It wasn't until I actually read some, what do they call them, actually? Like Beowulf is an example, where it's using alliteration more than rhyme. So I want to challenge myself to write in that style at some point. There are very particular patterns that you write in terms of the sounds and the words, and it just builds this really awesome rhythm. I don't know, it just clicks with my brain. And there's a guy, I'm not going to remember his name, I'll look it up sometime, online, who's a special, he is a, has his, PhD in like Nordic studies, Icelandic. He's written his own translation of I think the prose Edda, if not, maybe, I can't remember if it's the prose or the poetic Edda, maybe both. Anyway, he has a really good video series on writing on those kinds of poems and their form. If you're into that sort of thing, it's really interesting stuff. Moving on. I feel like I worry I go on too much about things. I'm Tenten. I am also Yuri in the name. Let's see. So we're going to talk to Sayori next. Oh, I like this one, Tenten. It has some nice feelings in it. Ah, I am glad. Still, though, your tone makes it sound like you liked yesterday's poem better. I guess you caught me. Sometimes you know me a little too well for my own good. Well, don't just try to be nice about it. If I'm doing a bad job, I'd rather just hear it. No, I still like this one, I promise. You know I wouldn't lie to you, Tenten. Never, ever. Yeah, I guess so. What made yesterday's poem so great compared to this one, then? Well, I'm not very good at figuring out if poems are good or bad. But that's why I just go by my heart. If it makes me feel things, then it must be a good poem. I'm not sure that's exactly how it works. Then again, I guess conveying feelings is a pretty important part of this whole thing. Yeah, maybe. Honestly, I don't even know what kind of writing you liked in the first place. Yeah, me neither. Ugh. Why don't you at least try giving it some thought? Aw, you want to write something for me? That's so sweet. Yeah, right. But you're always thinking about other people. You need to think about yourself once in a while. If you don't, you might end up getting hurt at some point. The two roads diverge. Yeah, yep. Yeah, same here. Eh? Well, I don't really know what you mean, but I'll try to keep it in mind. Well, whatever. Anyway, let's see. I guess I like happy poems. Wait, sometimes I like sad poems too. Sometimes a little bit of both. There's a word for that, right? What's the word I'm looking for? Bittersweet. Yeah, I like things that are happy and things that are sad. Happy and sad? I can't see you liking something sad, Sayori. Well, I like happy the most. But sometimes when you have a little rain cloud in your head, a sad poem can give that rain cloud a little hug. Yeah. And make a nice, happy rainbow. Sayori, that's unexpectedly poetic. Yeah, it is? Maybe I'm getting better at expressing my feelings after all. Thanks, Ten-Ten. I should go write that down then. You can read my poem now, okay? Alright, here we go. I pop off... Oh, the title, Bottles. I pop off my scalp like the lid of a cookie jar. It's the secret place where I keep all my dreams. Little balls of sunshine all rubbing together like a bundle of kittens. I reach inside with my thumb and forefinger and pluck one out. It's warm, tingly. But there's no time to waste. I put it in a bottle to keep it safe. I put the bottle on the shelf with all the other bottles. Happy thoughts, happy thoughts, happy thoughts in bottles, all in a row. My collection makes me lots of friends. Each bottle a starlight to make amends. Sometimes my friend feels a certain way. Down comes a bottle to save the day. Night after night, more dreams. Friend after friend, more bottles. Deeper and deeper my fingers go, like exploring a dark cave, discovering the secrets hiding in the nooks and crannies. Digging and digging, scraping and scraping. I blow dust off my bottle caps. It doesn't feel like time elapsed. My empty shelf could use some more. My friends slip through my locked front door. Finally, all done, I open up, and in come my friends. In they come in such a hurry. Do they want my bottles that much? I frantically pull them from the shelf one after the other, holding them out to each and every friend, each and every bottle. But every time I let one go, it shatters against the tile between my feet. Happy thoughts, happy thoughts, happy thoughts in shards all over the floor. They were supposed to be for my friends who aren't smiling. They're all shouting, pleading, something. But all I hear is echo, 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 echo inside my head. Woo! Okay, Sayori's not doing well either. Holy crap. Thank you. That's spot on. Holy crap. Sayori, did you really write this? Of course I did. Didn't I tell you yesterday I was going to write the best poem ever? Yeah, but, I mean, I didn't expect something like this coming from you. Monica taught me a whole lot, and I've been really in touch with my feelings recently. I see that. It's almost kind of creepy. Creepy? Well, not exactly. Maybe because I'm so used to you being cheerful. Well, never mind. I'm thinking too hard about it. The point is, it came out good, so you should be proud of it. Aw, thanks. I feel like I was meant to express myself this way. It even helps me understand my own feelings a little bit better. Writing is like magic. You've gotten pretty passionate about this, huh? I hope you keep it up. Yeah, writing's the best. I'm gonna keep writing until I die. Don't get ahead of yourself. Sayori's always had a habit of getting obsessed with something before dropping it no more than a week later. I wonder if this is one of those times. Seeing the passion in her eyes makes it hard for me to be pessimistic. And yeah, alcoholic could be. There's this idea of her, that whole where it goes from they're cute and they're kittens to suddenly she's scraping the bottom of her cranial, bowl. She's feeling a little spread out too thin between people. But the alcoholic thing, the drinks are a good analogy because, when people get together, how do they let out their emotions? How do they take down their guards? Yuri, let's see what you've written for today. Yuri stares at the poem with a surprised expression on her face. Do you like it? Ten-Ton, how did you pick up on this so quickly? Just yesterday I was telling you the kind of techniques worth practicing. Well, maybe that's why. You did a good job explaining. I really wanted to try giving it more imagery. Yuri visibly swallows. Even her hands appear sweaty. I'm not used to this. Used to what? I don't know. It's fine, take your time. Yuri breathes and collects her thoughts. I know that Yuri likes to think before she speaks, so I offer that patience to her. Yeah, just being appreciated like this, I guess. It probably sounds really stupid, but seeing someone motivated by my writing, it just makes me really happy. Are you saying you've never shared your writing before? Yuri nods. Really? I don't believe it. I really only write for myself. And besides, people just laugh at me. Do you really think that? Again, Yuri nods. Huh. Even your close friends? Yuri doesn't respond to that. I wonder why. Anyway, do you want to share the poem you wrote today? Yeah, I do. If it's with you, if it's okay with you, I'm guessing. The raccoon. It happened in the dead of night while I was slicing bread for a guilty snack. My attention was caught by the stuttering of a raccoon outside my window. That was, I believe, the first time I noticed my strange tendencies as an ordinary human. I gave the raccoon a piece of bread, my subconscious well aware of the consequences. Well aware that a raccoon that is fed will always come back for more. The enticing beauty of my cutting knife was the symptom, the bread, my hungry curiosity, the raccoon, an urge. The moon increments its phase and reflects that much more light off my cutting knife, the very same light that glistens in the eyes of my raccoon friend. I slice the bread fresh and soft. The raccoon becomes excited. Whoa, I don't know if I like where this is going. Knives and raccoons and... Or perhaps I'm merely projecting my emotions onto the newly satisfied animal. The raccoon is taken to following me. You could say that we've gotten quite used to each other. The raccoon becomes hungry more and more frequently, so my bread is always handy. Every time I brandish my cutting knife, the raccoon shows its excitement. A rush of blood. Classic Pavlovian conditioning. I slice the bread, and I feed myself again. Woo! Suddenly I want a sandwich. Anyway, let's see. I was a little more daring with this one than yesterday's. You think? I can see that. It's a lot more metaphorical. I don't know if it's my fault, but I can't begin to imagine what this poem is about. Oh, poor in-game 1010. You have so much to learn. That's right. It's a bit closer to my preferred writing style, using the poem as a canvas to express vivid imagery and conveying emotions through them. Yeah, if I take it at face value, then I can't even figure out what it's supposed to mean. Well, I think it's something that different people can relate to in their own way. I wanted to express the way it feels for me to indulge in more unusual hobbies. It's those sorts of things I'm usually forced to keep to myself. So I sometimes enjoy writing about them. Huh, that's funny. Eh? Didn't Natsuki also write something about that? About someone being ridiculed for a strange interest? Yeah? She did? Yeah. She was talking about how it doesn't matter what you're into, as long as you're not hurting anybody. She's right. I mean, does she really feel that way? Yeah. Sounds like you two have that in common. That's interesting. To me, she seemed like the kind of person who would make fun of my hobbies. But I suppose that's my fault for judging, isn't it? Please don't tell her I said that. Don't worry, I have no reason to. Okay. Well, thank you for sharing it with me. After all, if I hadn't learned to embrace my own weirdness, I would probably hate myself. I might be ranting a little bit now, but I'm glad that you're a good listener. Okay, everyone. We're all done reading each other's poems, right? I have something extra planned today, so if everyone could come sit at the front of the room. I think we can probably save over that one. Haven't made any choices yet. Is this about the festival? Well, sort of. Do we really have to do something for the festival? It's not like we can put together anything good in just a few days. We'll just end up embarrassing ourselves instead of getting any new members. That's a concern of mine as well. I don't really do well with last-minute preparations. Don't worry so much. We're going to keep it simple, okay? We won't need much more than a few decorations. Sayori has been working on posters, and I've designed some pamphlets we can give out during the event. Okay, that's great and all, but that doesn't tell us what we're actually going to be doing for the event. Oh, sorry, I thought you heard about it already. We're going to be performing. Performing? Monica? Yeah, we're going to be having a poetry performance. Each of us are going to choose a poem to recite during the event. But the cool part is, we're also going to let anyone else come up and recite poems too. Sayori's putting it on all the posters in case anyone wants to prepare ahead of time. Yeah. Sayori, who's been coloring the poster, holds it up for us to see. Are you kidding me, Monica? You didn't already start putting these posters up, did you? Eh? Well, I did. Do you really think it's that bad of an idea? Well, no. It's not a bad idea, but I didn't sign up for this, you know? There is no way I'm going to be performing in front of a group of people like that. I agree with Natsuki. I could never in my life do something like that. Imagining it. See how many ends we can add. Imagining it, Yuri shakes her head in fear. Guys, no, Sayori, I understand where they're coming from. Remember that Natsuki and Yuri have never shared their poems with anyone until just a couple of days ago. It's a lot to ask them to recite their poems out loud to a whole room of people. I guess I kind of overlooked that. So, I'm sorry. But I still think we should give it our best. We're the only ones responsible for the fate of this club. If we start the event and each put on a good performance, then it will inspire others to do the same. And the more people who perform, the better we'll be able to show everyone what literature is all about. Yeah, it's about expressing your feelings, being intimate with yourself, finding new horizons, and having fun. That's right. And it's those reasons that we're all in this club today. Don't you want to share that with others? To inspire them to find the same feelings that brought you here in the first place? I know you do. I know we all do. And if all it takes is standing in front of the room for 2 minutes and reciting a poem, then I know you can do it. Natsuki and Yuri remain silent. Sayori looks worried. I guess that leaves me no choice. I agree. I don't think it's too much to ask. I think that Sayori and Monica have been trying really hard to get new members. The least we can do is help them out a little bit. Well, maybe, but it looks like Natsuki doesn't have any arguments left. Alright, okay, fine. I guess we'll just have to get it over with. Alright. Phew. Thanks, Natsuki. What about you, Yuri? Yuri dejectedly glances around at everyone else's expectant faces. I guess I don't really have a choice. Aha! Or Naida's ahaha, that's everyone. You're the best, Yuri. This club is seriously going to be the death of me. Oh gosh, you'll be fine, Yuri. But anyway, let's move on to the main event. I want each of you to choose a poem of yours. I'm going to practice reciting them in front of each other. No way! Monica, this is too sudden. Well, if you can't recite your poem in front of the club, how do you expect to do it in front of strangers? Oh no. Don't worry. I'll start off to help everyone feel a little more comfortable. Can I go next? Of course. Now let's see. Monica flips through her notebook to the specific poem she has in mind for herself. She then stands behind the podium. So with them already knowing about the festival and needing a poem prepared, it's their fault they have nothing. That's very true. But I can also understand that when you're sharing something for the first time and you've never shared that kind of thing and it's very personal to you, you can feel like you're naked up there. Let's see. The title of this poem is The Way They Fly. Monica begins reciting her poem. Her clear, confident voice fills the room. More than that, her inflection is pristine. She knows exactly how to apply emotion behind each line she recites, bringing the words to life. Is this something she's done before, or is she simply a natural? I glance around me. Everyone has their eyes on Monica. Sayori looks amazed. Yuri has an intense expression on her face that I don't understand. Finally, Monica finishes the recitation. The four of us applaud. Monica takes a breath and smiles. That was so good, Monica. Thank you very much. I was just hoping to set a good example. Are you ready to go next, Sayori? I'll go next. Yuri's fired up all of a sudden. Yuri clutches a sheet of paper between her hands and stands up. Keeping her head down, she walks quickly over to the podium. This poem is called... Yuri anxiously glances at each of us. You can do it, Yuri. Oh, you can do it, Yuri. It's called After Image of a Crimson Eye. Yuri's voice shakes as she starts reading the poem. Just a moment ago, she practically refused to do this. Why is she suddenly putting in so much effort? As Yuri gets past the first couple of lines, her voice changes. It's almost like what happens when Yuri gets absorbed into her books. Her quivering words transform into the sharp syllables of a fierce and confident woman. The poem is full of twists and turns in its structure that she enunciates with perfect timing. This must be a rare glimpse into the whirling fire Yuri keeps concealed inside her head. Suddenly, she's finished. Everyone is stunned. Yuri snaps back into reality and glances around her as if she bewildered even herself. It's up to me to save the situation. I'm the first to start applauding. Everyone joins me afterward, and we give Yuri the recognition she deserves. It's not that we didn't want to applaud for her, but we were caught so off guard that we must have forgotten. Oh, they're talking like they need to start from scratch? Yeah. As we applaud, Yuri holds the poem to her chest and rushes back into her seat. Yuri, that was really good. Thank you for sharing. Looks like Yuri is down for the count. Okay, I guess I'm next then. Sayori hops out of her chair and cheerfully walks to the podium. This one's called My Meadow. Oh. Sorry, I giggled. Sayori, it's a lot harder than I thought. How did you guys do it so easily? Try not to think of it like you're reciting to other people. Imagine you're reciting it to yourself, like in front of a mirror or in your own head. It's your poem, so it'll come out the best that way. I see. Okay then. Sayori begins her poem. Somehow it feels like her soft voice was made as a perfect match. The poem isn't aimlessly cheery like Sayori is. It's serene and bittersweet. If I were to read this on paper, I probably wouldn't think much of it. But hearing it come from Sayori's voice almost gives it a whole new meaning. Maybe this is what Sayori meant when she said she likes my poems. It's like I get to reach more deeply into someone than I thought I knew through and through. Sayori finishes and we applaud. I did it! Good job, Sayori. Even Ten-Ten liked it. I guess that's a good sign. What does that even mean? It came out nicely, Sayori. The atmosphere of the poem fits you really nicely. But it might be that other poems wouldn't work quite as well with that kind of delivery. Eh? I don't really understand. In other words, I've seen poems of yours where that sort of gentle delivery wouldn't work as well. They might need a little more force behind them, depending on what you're reading. Oh, I know what you mean. I've been practicing that kind of thing. It's just embarrassing to do in front of everyone. The next time, I'm going to make you pick a poem that challenges you a little more. We don't have much time before the festival, you know. Okay, now who's next? Natsuki? Huh. Don't make me go before Ten-Ten. It's not like I can compare to you guys anyway. Might as well let Ten-Ten lower everyone's standards a little bit before I have to do it. Natsuki, it's fine. I might as well get it over with. It's not like I have much of a selection of what to read. I just have to go with what I wrote for today. I stand up and step in front of the podium. Everyone has their eyes on me, making me feel terribly awkward. I recite my poem. Since I'm not exactly confident in my own writing, it's hard to put energy into it. Despite that, once I finish, I receive applause anyway. I'm sorry, I'm not really as good as everyone else. Don't worry about it so much. I think it's less about your abilities and more about your lack of confidence in your writing. That's something that'll improve over time, though. Yeah, maybe. All right, then. That just leaves you, Natsuki. Yeah, I'm going. Natsuki begrudgingly gets out of her seat and makes her way to the podium. The poem is called... It's called... Why are you all looking at me? Because you're presenting. Anyway, the poem is called Jump. Natsuki takes a breath. Once she starts reciting the poem, her sour attitude disappears a little. While she's still a little unenthused, her poem has a rhythm and rhyme to it. It's Natsuki's trademark style, and it works surprisingly well when spoken aloud. The words feel like they bounce up and down as if giving life to the poem. Hey, how you doing? Let's see. Liner, YT, Kaposa. Good to have you here this evening. Let's see. Bounce giving life to the poem. Hi there. Natsuki finishes and everyone applauds. She huffs back to her seat. That wasn't so bad, was it? Easy for you to say. You'd better not make me do that again. Well, do you at least feel prepared enough to recite a poem in front of other people? I mean, doing it in front of other people will be way easier. I can put on whatever face I want for other people. But when it's just my friends, it's just embarrassing. And that's a surprise, Natsuki. I think it would be the other way around for me. Well, that's just how it is, so... Well, I guess in that case, you won't have much to worry about for the festival. That said, I want to thank everyone for coming through. It might be kind of hard, but I hope that you all have an idea of what it's like now. Make sure you pick a poem and get enough practice before the festival, okay? I'll be making pamphlets, so let me know ahead of time what you'll be reciting. Oh, did the messages die? Well, that's too bad. Let me see if I can fix that real quick. Technical issue. Let's see what we can do. That's the wrong one. There we go. Hopefully that'll be better. Thank you for the heads up. It's probably I was doing some debugging last night, trying to improve the stream quality, and I think I turned some things off and forgot to turn them back on. But chat should be recorded out in the in each site I'm broadcasting to, so hopefully you can pick it up there. But they should show up there from now on. Jeez, I should probably find some other poem to recite instead. Oh, let's go history. Oh, there we go. Let me know ahead of time what we'd be reciting. Jeez. Oh, cool. See, I have not had to use this yet. I was wondering when I was going to click ahead too fast for myself. Cool. That's fine too. It doesn't have to be your own. I'm already pleasantly surprised that you're putting in all this effort for the club. It makes me really happy. Yeah, no problem. Okay, everyone. I think that's about it for today. I know the festival is coming up, but let's try to write poems for tomorrow as well. It's been working out really nicely so far, so I'd like to continue that. As for the festival, we'll finish planning tomorrow, and then we'll have the weekend to prepare. Monday's the big day. I can't wait. I can do this. I can do this. Alright. I stand up. There's no way I'll be able to find the same enthusiasm as Sayori and Monica, but I'll do my best to get through it. If it's for the sake of the club and impressing Monica, then I'll have to do my best. Ready to go, Sayori? Yep. Look at you two, always going home together like that. It's kind of adorable, isn't it? Geez, guys, don't make such a big deal out of it. Must be a little nice, though. Well, how am I supposed to respond to that? It's okay, Tenten, you don't have to say it. Whatever, let's go already. Okay. I walked home with Sayori once more. Even though it's only been a few days, a lot of things have already changed. Oh, yeah, sure. Let's see. So thank you. Use it as a way to see the messages from everyone because you don't normally see them pop up in the chat log. Okay. Yeah. No, glad to do it. I'm a little curious as to why they're not showing up in the other chat log. So many things to address. Let's see. Even in a few days, a lot of things have changed. But today, Sayori's being a little quieter than usual on the way home. Hey, Sayori. Sorry, I was spacing out. Ah, no wonder. I was thinking about something from earlier. I like how we get to... Sayori fumbles with her words. So let's just say that one day, Yuri asked to walk home with you. Huh? What would you do? Well, what kind of question is that? You're kind of putting me on the spot here. Let's see. Well, let's see. This is... yeah. Oh, here. One little magical change. There you go. You just saw the end of that one. Should be all the way fixed now. You really think I would ditch you for Yuri? Yeah? But she's so beautiful and smart. Jeez, I already see her in the club every day. Besides, you always seem to really like going home together. I wouldn't just ruin that for you. You're so silly, Tentan. You think about me too much sometimes. Yuri would deserve it if she wanted it, so... Sayori, I've already made up my mind. I really can't figure you out sometimes. Sorry. Besides, what's the point in speculating something that's never going to happen? The conversation trails off. It's kind of a weird thing for Sayori to care so much about. But I want to respect her and keep her happy, too. Then again, the festival is only a few days away. Who knows what'll happen in that time. And on that note, that seems like the perfect spot to say save. Oh, or did I pick that one instead? Go back. And that is going to be it for today. So let's go to... hit escape. Go to main menu. Yes. There we go. So I'm okay with how this is going. It is, I knew it would take a while to get to the, what you might classify as the horror content. It's taking I don't know that it's taking longer than I expected. It just takes, how long have I been playing? 2.5 hours almost. It takes a long time to get through all this. I'm actually a little surprised by two things I'll point out. One of them is the writing's actually decent. It's not that I thought it was going to be bad. I didn't like come in thinking that the writing is going to be garbage, but it's actually not bad. You know, it has its own genre, but within that, it's working pretty well. And they actually do have a lot of good advice about writing, inside the story. The other thing is I find that they're doing a really great job with the character development because I'm worried which of the characters are going to be okay by the end of the story. You know what I mean? Like, initially I thought this was going to be sort of like when you do something like a slasher, you really don't build up a lot of character affinity because you're going to kill everyone off. You know what I mean? In fact, you kind of want to do the opposite. You want to... Oh, shoot. Hey, Mr. Dave. Yeah, I'm actually just wrapping up for tonight. Talking a little bit about the game and how I'm kind of surprised that the writing's better than I expected. Writing's better than I expected. Good character development. I'm actually curious to see what's going to happen. And the nature of the horror part that's going to come up isn't as disconnected from the characters, I don't think, as I thought it was going to be. So I'm in. I'm curious to see how this goes. This is not the sort of thing I would pick up. Like, if this was not a horror game, I would not have any interest in this. That said, I am curious to see see what they do with it. So I think the core idea of using this really cutesy game and the bouncy music in the background and everything's just so darn cute, and then it's going to go places, right? Like the expectation here is that it's going to get probably going to get pretty dark, right? So I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to seeing where it goes. Let's see. Let me make sure I've got all these other things on. I'll go ahead and just pull up my image here real quick, and we'll say good night. Thanks to everyone for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope people are having fun with it. Because again, that's kind of why I do it. Looks like we had a pretty good crowd tonight. That was a lot of fun too. And I'm probably not going to be able to do this tomorrow night. I actually have a writing group that I have to attend. So I'll see if I can apply some of what I learned here tonight. Take some of Monica's words with me. Have an excellent night or day, depending on where you are. And take care. God bless. I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.